Okay, ready? Okay. Crying is allowed, but no fainting. Okay? Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Baruch haba b'shem Adonai. Mi adir al hakol. Mi baruch al hakol. Mi gadol al hakol. Hu yivarech hechatan v'hakala. May you who are here be blessed in the name of the Lord. May God, who is supreme in power, blessing, and glory, bless this bridegroom and this bride, this chatan and this kala. Heavenly Creator, you're the source of all holiness. Help us to see the sacred dimension of all life. Guide this bridegroom and this bride to the realization of sanctity and devotion every day as today. Help them to renew their love continually as you, O Lord, renew creation. May their concern for each other reflect your concern for all humankind. May their loving faithfulness reflect your love. Throughout the years, may they hallow their life together so that the home they establish become a blessing to their families, to our community, to the entire house of Israel. And may your light, O Lord, always illumine their lives. May their life together embrace and nurture the promise of this special moment, so that all who know them will call them a couple that is truly blessed. And we all say, Amen. The Jewish wedding ceremony begins officially with a cup of wine. Then again, everything begins officially with a cup of wine. We begin the Shabbat with a cup of wine, every holiday with a cup of wine. The Passover Seder is punctuated by 4 cups of wine, and that last cup of wine that we don't drink, the symbol of hope, the symbol of coming of a future of peace. Elijah's cup, a symbol of the Messiah coming and redeeming the world. So the cup of wine is a symbol of hope and joy. But for the rabbis, the most important cup of wine was this one. This cup of wine under the chuppah. Why? Because this is what starts it all. This is what creates the family. The family creates the community. The community is what helps redeem the world and serves God. And so this cup of wine is also special because you're going to share it. You're going to drink from the same cup of wine, because from this moment on, your souls are intertwined, your lives are intertwined, and you're building a future together. And may it be as joyous as this first cup of wine will be. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al harayot v'yasa lanu et harusot v'hitil lanu et hanesuot lanu al yedei chuppah v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh amo Yisrael al yedei chuppah v'kiddushin. Praise you, Lord our God, King of the universe, the creator of the fruit of the vine, joy and happiness. So you get the as you have shared the wine of this cup, may you share all things from this day on with love, with understanding, God willing, in good health. We've reached that moment when the actual marriage takes place. Now, every language has to choose a word for wedding, for marriage. English, marriage, wedding. Hebrew, a much more ancient language, obviously, chose the word kiddushin. Kiddushin comes from the word kadosh. Kadosh means holiness. In other words, the rabbis, when they gave this a name, they said, this is a profoundly religious act. This is holiness. And they were right. You just did the circling. And that circling was a partnership. And what did it represent? God created this world in 6 days. It's the creation of the world. You're creating your world together. And your world is a reflection of God's creation because it represents all the hope and joy for the future. Your circling was partnership with God. And that's what God asked of Adam and Eve. You're Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve is a metaphor. Every married couple is Adam and Eve. And we're in February, and we're in the Garden of Eden. Where else can you do this? Is like the Garden of Eden. And what God asked Adam and Eve, the first Adam and Eve, he says, will you be my partners? Will you bring forth the next generations and till my garden, take care of my world? And they said yes. And then God rested. He was done. It was Shabbat for him because he had his partners. You have become partners with each other, but you've also become partners with God. So when you entered this chuppah, it was the groom, the bride, and the presence of God. Now, what more religious act, profoundly holy act could a human being ever perform than to become a partner with the one who created all of us? Now, this partnership is effected through the rings. So I'd like the ring now. Brian's going to give it to Marky. Now, place this on her right forefinger, right on the tip, right forefinger. That's the traditional ring finger in Jewish law. And just on the tip. And repeat after me now, Ryan. Hare.
Hare.
At.
At.
Mikudeshet.
Mikudeshet.
Li.
Li.
Bitabat.
Bitabat.
Zo.
Zo.
Kedat Moshe.
Kedat Moshe.
V'Yisrael.
V'Yisrael.
You've just said that she's consecrated to you as your wife in accordance with the laws of Moses and the people of Israel. And now, the ring that you're going to present to your groom, and then you can switch it to your comfortable ring finger, placing on the right forefinger. And Mark, you're reciting these words from the Song of Songs. This is the love poetry in our Bible, the Shir Hashirim. Ani, lidodi, vidodi, li. Those words mean, I am for my beloved, and my beloved is for me. You can switch the ring. Now, I'd like to call forward the witnesses to the ketubah. They'll be signing this Jewish marriage certificate.
Make sure it's black. Never get this off, I guess.
So, this is the Jewish marriage certificate. As you can see, this is a work of art. It's magnificent. There's the ancient Hebrew Aramaic at the top, paraphrased into the English, and beautiful calligraphy and the beautiful decor. The whole thing's a fascinating concept. I have the Florida license right here. It's not a work of art. Okay? It's a piece of paper, black ink, white paper, you know. That's what a contract is. That's the deal.
Yep.
But we, in our tradition, and for thousands of years now, have taken this marriage contract and turned it into artwork. And the reason we do that is because this is your commitment to each other. This is a reflection of what you're going to build. And what the rabbis were saying is, if you have in your home the commitment, husband and wife to husband, represented by these thousands of years of Jewish tradition of mutual love, respect, and honor, if these values fill your home, then what's going to happen is your home has become a work of art. It's going to be a reflection of this magnificent ketubah. And so that's what you're building. Now, you're not just building a home, you're building a work of art. And people will come, they will admire it, and they will be so comfortable in your midst. Let me read a brief section in the Aramaic, in the paraphrase into the English, in which you have said to each other and affirmed your love in the presence of God's blessing, and in accordance with the laws of Moses and the people of Israel, you have said to each other, you are my best friend, my hopes and future, my strength, my soulmate, standing proudly beside you. In your eyes, I see my love, and in your heart, I see my dreams, and in our promise, I see a union true and steadfast, uniquely devoted to compassion, kindness, and sincerity throughout all time and space. There has been no love like ours, and our story will unfold with beauty, grace, and meaning. We pledge to cherish and sustain each other, meeting life's trials with quiet strength and courage, and meeting life's blessings with wonder, joy, and laughter. We will grow as individuals and delight in an elegant freedom born from mutual respect through all time and space. There'll be no story exactly like ours. So, I present this to you, Brian, and then you present it to your bride.
Marky.
And we hold it for you.
Yes. Thank you. I would probably lose it.
It's official. But don't think it's over, and this is a Jewish ceremony. It's a Jewish ceremony. It keeps going, right? Okay. So before we get to the actual close of the ceremony, which has the 7 blessings over the second cup of wine, it becomes my very special pleasure to be able to say a few words to try and reflect what's in the hearts and the minds of everyone here surrounding you, loving you, those who couldn't physically be here but are experiencing it, and all those who are going to share life with you as you build your future together. It's always a privilege to stand with the bride and groom. It's special here because of the history. This family, the Willis family, I've known literally since I was a child. And we keep on encountering each other at so many wonderful, joyous occasions. And then we got to study together, right? And that was a very special privilege to be able to study and grow and prepare for this ceremony. It's not exactly how you imagined it, but that's life. But in a way, it is exactly how you imagined it, because you're here under the chuppah, holding hands, looking at each other's eyes, and right behind you, the people who brought you here. Next to you, family, friends, all surrounding you. And that's what you did imagine. So we have a Garden of Eden moment. Now, the ketubah which you selected, and each bride and groom selects it, and obviously you select it for the artwork, but you also focus on the words in English, which were a reflection of the Hebrew and the Aramaic. And you select those words because they speak to your heart. And what was fascinating about the very beginning of the English there is that it picked up on an idea that we're going to say in a few moments over the second cup of wine. In these blessings we're going to recite, we're offering thanksgiving for God for the incredible opportunity to become partners with Him, the ability to love, the ability to share love, the ability to look forward towards a future together. All these are incredible blessings that God has given to His creation, to humanity. One of the blessings says that you should become Re'im Ahuvim. Now, Re'im are friends, and Ahuvim are people who love each other, lovers. One of the first words in that ketubah was friends. And that's fascinating, because the Hebrew says friends first. It doesn't say lovers first. It says friends first. And of course, we ask the question, lovers and friends makes more sense. We're at a wedding. Well, we know that everybody who walks down the aisle is in love. But the most important question is, are they good friends? Are they good friends? And that's what we know about the two of you. You are the very best of friends. You not only love each other, but more importantly, you adore each other as people. What you are as people. You respect what you represent, what your families represent. You share similar kinds of friends, people with certain ideals and beliefs. And you have a very clear vision of what you want to build together. Friendship, that's what we wonder. Are people really good friends? Can you just sit on the couch, hold hands, and be happy as a lark? And that's exactly what happens with the two of you. Can you half the time complete the other person's sentence before they finish it? Because you have a very good idea. And most importantly, you're so proud of each other. You're so proud of who you are, how you work, how you study, how you play, how you treat other people. that friendship is solidified by the love that you share for each other. So when we look into the future and we see 50, 60 years from now, when you're looking at videos, whatever these things are going to be in the future, and I think you'll watch it on your watch probably, you'll look at it and you'll wonder, how is it that my love for her is even stronger than the moment she accepted that ring and became my wife? How is it my feelings for him have grown even deeper throughout the years? It's going to be because your friendship will allow your love to grow and be more and more sophisticated as you go through years together. And you will have always surrounding you these people who help you get here and are ready to march with you forward into the future. Two families with strong values, strong ethics, strong commitments, who are looking here today and they're saying, you know, sometimes it just works out really good. And it's worked out really, really good. Our prayer for you is that when you look at these pictures 50, 60 years from now, that friendship will indeed have solidified your life. May this be God's will. May this be God's blessings. And we all say, Amen. I'm going to now fill the cup of wine again, the second cup. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam shakol bara l'kvodo. Praise you, O Lord of God, King of the universe, creator of humankind. Praise you, O Lord of God, King of the universe, who created man and woman in your image, fashioning woman from man as his mate, that together they might perpetuate life. Praise you, O Lord, creator of humankind. Sameach tisama tasasis tagev tagel kara b'kibbutz baneha letocha b'simcha baruch atah Adonai misameach Zion b'vaneha sameach tisamach rimavim kisamechecha yitzircha b'gan Eden mikedem baruch atah Adonai misameach chatan v'kala. Grant perfect joy to these companions who are in love, these loving friends, as you did to the first man and woman in the Garden of Eden. Praise you, O Lord, who grants joy to the bride and groom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher baras hasan v'simcha chatan v'kala, asher baras hasan v'simcha chatan v'kala, gila, rina, dihitza v'chedva, Ahava ve'achva ve'shalom ve'reut Meheira Adonai Yeshua b'Yarei Yehuda uvechutzot Yerushalayim Kol sason ve'kol simcha Kol chatan ve'kol kala Kol mitzalot chatanim mechupatam Unarim mishte neginatam Baruch atah Adonai misameach chatan imakala. Praise you, O Lord of God, King of the universe, who creates joy and gladness, bridegroom, song, delight, rejoicing, love, harmony, peace, companionship. O Lord our God, may there ever be heard in the cities of Judah, in the streets of Jerusalem, the voices of joy and gladness, the voices of the bride and groom, the jubilant voices of young people feasting and singing. Praise you, O Lord, who causes the groom. He's so polite, he bends down because he knows I can't reach him with the cup. You know, the bursitis takes you out after a while, you know? It's the biggest reach I've ever had to make.
We needed someone.
Since both of you have joined voluntarily,
Voluntarily.
Just checking. In this ceremony, he binds you together in marriage, abiding by the laws of the state of Florida and acting in accordance with the laws of the people of Israel. You are now husband and wife. Don't kiss yet. We're not done. Okay, we have two brief ceremonies that bring the Jewish wedding to a close. One is you're going to get your first blessing as husband and wife, and your parents are going to stand behind you, and they're going to wrap you in what is in essence the 5 books of Moses. Right? It's a talit, it's a prayer shawl. On the corner of the talit, there are fringes, and those fringes represent the 613 commandments found in the 5 books of Moses. So they're wrapping you in the history of Western civilization, the history of moral and ethics that have guided Western civilization for thousands of years. And then you're going to break the glass. Now, as you know, breaking the glass is the best known part of the Jewish wedding ceremony. If you ever see a Jewish wedding on TV or in the movies, they get nothing right except for the breaking of the glass, the only part they actually understand. So, but it's strange, because what have we done? We brought 2 people together. We brought 2 families together. We brought a community of friends. They're friends that you had before you met each other. Now they've met each other, and through you, and now more friendships. It's a concentric circles and circles of friendship that you're creating around your love. You're building a whole community of love and sharing around your love. And so we brought things together, and then at the end of the ceremony, we take the one thing that was together and we break it into 1,000 little pieces. We have the soft words of the ceremony, love, harmony, the melody, and then at the end, a crashing of the foot to the ground and a shattering of glass. It seems to be an undoing. So why did the rabbis do this? Well, they want to teach a simple lesson. That glass is God's world. This is the Garden of Eden. It's perfect. Everything's perfect. The glass is whole. Everything's fine. Problem is, you can't live in the Garden of Eden. You have to leave this chuppah afterwards. You have to go back to the real world. And God's world is shattered. It's broken. It needs a lot of fixing. And that's the partnership. You begin symbolically putting the pieces of the glass back together one by one through deeds of loving kindness, through your love, through sharing. You repair God's world. That's our task. That's your task. Repair God's world by putting the pieces of the glass back together. So, I'd like now to have parents, please come forward. Grandparents can come forward too. Here is the talit. May the Lord bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. May the Lord cause his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May the Lord give you peace, health, happiness, and a world at peace. We all say Amen. Okay.
I'm ready. All right.
Ready? Go.